Oh, my goodness. I don't want to pass on my genes. I think that's it with the kids. The most prominent feature about my family, we all have big feet. You guys can see my shoe size. That is a 12 triple A. Thanks for making me feel good up there, yeah. I'm okay with it now, but it was embarrassing in first grade. One day our class went on a nature hike. The park rangers came across my footprints, closed the park, spent the weekend tracking me. Those tranquilizer darts hurt.
Some comedians hate doing radio interviews because the radio shows are usually really early, like 6 a.m., which means they have to do a comedy show at night and then get up a few hours later to get on the air. But that's part of the deal for the headliner because they have to help promote the comedy club. Now, I always liked the media interviews. I enjoyed meeting the DJs and getting on the air. And so even when I was featuring, I'd always ask the headliner if they minded if I tagged along. 99% of them were fine with it. It was an extra funny person helping out. But not this one headliner. I was living with him in the comedy condo during our week at the club, and they had lined him up with a bunch of radio each day. When I asked him if I could tag along, he said, "No, I'll do it. This is my show." It was insulting and kind of dismissing to me, like I wasn't a part of the show. You know, I don't mind if someone wants to do all the media. It was just kind of the way he said it that was irritating. We did have a nice chat later that day, though, and I figured out why he was a jerk about the radio. At one point, he said, "I've done everything I can to be famous, and I don't know what else to do." So I'm guessing that's why he wanted the media all to himself. He wanted to be famous. That night at the show, I realized another thing, that we were very different acts. I did my clean comedy to big laughs, and then he came on after me and dirtied it up with his comedy, but also getting big laughs. Afterwards, I was approached by a woman from a different radio station, one that this comic was not scheduled to be on. She said she loved my act and asked if I could come in the morning to be on her show. She said she had never seen a clean comedian at this club, so she could never invite them to the station. I was thrilled. I told the club owner about it, and he was also thrilled. He said that that was the biggest station in town, and he'd been trying to get his comics on there for a year. As I was leaving that night, the club owner yelled, "Hey, Jan, I'll pick you up at 5 a.m. tomorrow." The headliner heard that and said, "Where are you going?" I said, "To the biggest radio station in town. They saw my act and they want me on their show." He looked surprised, and for a second I thought he was going to ask if he could join me. But before he opened his mouth, I just looked at him and said, "My show." The takeaway from this is to help others when you can. I made a mistake of not inviting him to the radio station because I really do believe in helping other people. It was sort of a gut reaction to how he first treated me. I wonder how many other comics would have helped him get famous, but didn't because of the way he first came across. That's it for this episode. Thanks for listening. Feel free to check out my website, theworklady.com. This is Jan. Take care and enjoy your journey.